Okay, the
camera.
mic's okay. I don't mean to be rude with them. I know that last time, but they couldn't hear you.
Oh, really?
Amazingly, they could hear
Wow.
Linda, but they couldn't hear you.
Oh, wow. It's because of my soft-spoken.
Which is funny, because I was farther,
I know.
I was closer to your mic.
Must be my soft-spoken manner.
That must be it. Must be it.
Yeah.
I've never gotten accused of that.
Yeah.
Must be a way to raise it.
That's a different chair.
Oh.
There's a little kid.
All right, so we're going on the record with PBA in the city of Port Orange.
It's like the one in the city manager's office where it lowers
Yeah.
after you get in.
Oh, yeah, it's horrible. A couple of them are horrible. We're going on the record with PBA in Port Orange, city of, and I'll start with introductions. I'm Michelle Oak, the HR director.
Secret Gold Finance.
Melissa Hicks, Finance.
Manny Marino, Chief of Police.
Greg Forehand, PBA.
Warren Carmen, Lieutenant.
Very good.
Linda Troy, Finance.
Yeah, you
Good.
believe in Linda.
And are you an observer today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, excellent.
It's Lieutenant Clark.
Oh, hi, Lieutenant Clark.
How are
Nice
you?
to meet you.
He is our
Thanks for coming.
Tier 2 lieutenant.
Okay.
That's right.
All right,
I'm that
very
one
good.
guy.
You're the
You're
new
the-
one.
you're the-
That
the
guy.
odd
He's that guy.
Okay,
that guy.
good. All right, very good. So we're working through the non-financials of this contract. I feel like we've made some good progress. Everybody has been contributing to better language and stuff like that, so I feel like we're making good progress there.
Are we done yet?
Yeah.
had to throw
So
that
see you
out.
later. Yeah.
That's your line, yeah.
So if you would like, we could go through and look at some of the things that, from last time that we had revised and make sure that that all makes sense. And then I feel like in some ways we're close to signing some TAs on several of these pages, if I'm not completely mistaken.
I'm not TAing anything till we get all kinds of offers first.
Oh, okay.
I'm kidding.
Oh, well, okay. And I recognize that you guys, are anxious to get that stuff, but as you know, we have processes and there's things in legislature going on, and all that stuff is going to impact, those issues. So we're going to do what we can, and then things that are above our pay grades, we let those processes take place. All right, so that being said, one of the areas that we had talked about specifically last time is that grievance section where Greg had given us some new language to chew on.
We know what article number that is.
I'm going to find that as we speak. So we first, I want to go over that Article 7 probationary, make sure we're tight on that.
Okay.
Okay.
Article 7.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so as you recall, the previous language didn't really tightly differentiate the issue of external people on probation versus internal promotions and how that relates to probationing. So the language that we came up with was, and I'll just kind of paraphrase, external hires shall be classified as probationary employees for the first 365 calendar days, during the probationary period, new members shall be subject to all other terms and conditions of the agreement, except as limited in this agreement. Okay, and then toward the end, we said the employee with the lowest number being considered the employee with the most seniority, subject to the provisions of this agreement. And then we added that 7.2, internal promotions to lieutenant. For internal promotions to lieutenant, he or she shall be classified as a probationary employee for the new position for the first 365 calendar days of continuous uninterrupted employment. During the new position probationary period, employees may be disciplined, demoted, or discharged for cause and without recourse to the grievance and arbitration procedures of this agreement. However, all other employment rights and privileges of the agreement apply. In the event the individual is demoted, they will return to their most recent rank below the lieutenant rank.
I think the intent is to say, hey, you can't grieve a demotion back to the rank you were at. But when you put the words discharged for cause, discharge means fired, not demoted. So that's my big.
That's why I kind of had it
my
highlighted. Is
big
that what
fear.
we're, yeah. So are we really trying to say employees, may be demoted without recourse to the grievance and arbitrations, and the rest of it should be struck?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would agree.
Okay,
Because in theory, you can always discharge for cause,
Yeah.
but it
Right.
goes through.
that's right. But what about the word disciplined? What did we say about that?
I mean, the only thing that they couldn't grieve would be being put back to the lower
To the-
rank.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
discipline
so-
should be out too, right?
Yeah, so employees
Okay. Does
may
anybody have a
be
pen that works?
demoted. Employees may be, I guess the wording should see, during the new positionary period, employees may be demoted, and you can put in there without cause and without recourse to the grievance procedure and arbitration. Because if they were just given a write-up for something else, in theory, they'd be able to grieve it.
Okay, yep, that makes sense. So they could be, disciplined, and that would go into the normal grievance procedure, right? But we're really just talking about when the probation isn't working out and we're moving
And
them
they
back into
bump
the
down.
previous.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. All right, good. And then all probationary employees is defined in this article. So I don't like referring back to numbers because they change, right? And so we've got other contracts where that's been kind of a nightmare to untangle. Shall be entitled to leave and holiday provisions of this agreement. Okay, the rest looked okay. And then in 7.4, the city shall have the unilateral management right to extend the probationary periods. I don't like that section 7.1 for up to 180 days, period. And so
Yeah, because
previous,
it's 7.1 and 7.2 now.
Yeah.
So if you just strike in section 7.1,
yeah.
I think
And I'll
we're
just
good.
say this article,
That's fine.
yeah. But for up to 180 days, period. So I didn't like, and I don't think you guys like that language that said in lieu of discharging. So,
Yeah, let's just
because
do that.
it's
I'm
a,
good with striking that right out of there.
yeah, because it's a all or nothing,
Right,
situation, and that doesn't seem fair.
right.
Okay, good. I think we're tight in the seniority section until 8.7 on page 16, where it says, in the event of a reduction in force or layoff at the lieutenant rank, lieutenants will roll down to their previous rank of sergeant. The lieutenant with the least time and grade shall be the employee forced to roll down to their previous rank of sergeant. That is the language we added last time, yes?
Yes.
Okay, good. Does it still look all right?
Yep.
Good.
It's like we're talking about the kindergarten behind his back.
Yeah, yeah. And
Well, we're
thank
doing it right here in his face.
Yeah.
We're doing it right in front of us.
This is what we did before.
Thank you for the voluntary, yeah.
None of us do volunteer.
Yeah, present company accepted, huh? All right, good. We kept Article 10 as reserved. And then training, we were pretty happy with. There was one formatting issue in 11.7. Article 12, disciplinary action. 12.2, we had changed a little bit there. We said except in extraordinary circumstances, before the employee is discharged or suspended without pay for disciplinary reasons, notification will be provided to the employee in advance of the action. Okay, and the employee will have an opportunity to have a Loudermill hearing. Okay?
Yeah, just a typo, you've got the word action struck out, and it
Yeah.
shouldn't be there.
Okay, very good. Okay. When I go striking big, I guess. In the event an employee becomes the subject of a formal departmental investigation arising from a complaint or allegation, the department shall notify the employee of the disposition of the complaint upon conclusion of the formal investigations. Disciplinary actions, except oral reprimands, are subject to the grievance procedure, period. We're simplifying. Disciplinary suspensions shall not become effective until such time as an employee has exhausted the grievance process through step 4, or until such time that the time period for initiating step 1 has expired. That's still tight, right? Emergency suspensions, as detailed in the Department Directive Section 26.4, may be imposed immediately. Emergency suspensions shall be with pay unless the reason for the emergency suspension is that the employee has either been accused, arrested, or charged with a crime. If at the conclusion of an internal investigation following an emergency suspension, there are no sustained allegations of criminal conduct, then the employee shall be paid for all of the time the employee was in the emergency suspension. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Chief, any comments on that one?
So unless you, the accused kind of scares me a little bit, but, so basically if you're not arrested for a crime, you're gonna be emergency suspended with pay. If you are arrested for a crime, it's emergency suspension without pay, but if you get found to not have committed a criminal act, you get all that back.
Then you get all that back.
Yeah, and the city doesn't have to suspend you if they don't want to, if it's just an allegation. And of course, the risk the city takes by going, fine, you've been accused, we're gonna suspend you, they end up risking
Paying you
giving you a paid
anyway.
vacation.
And sometimes, you know, just
All right, so
sitting
you're
on
okay with
the,
the word accused in there?
I mean, if you're not,
do you have a
feel
different
free
word
to
we could
say,
use?
we'd rather not be just
But-
accused, because the fear obviously from,
Yeah.
is the, hey, your ex who you're having a
I was
custody
gonna say
battle
domestic
with.
violence is always the
Right.
big one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm,
you
yeah.
know, whether.
Another example could be sexual harassment, right? So you got, you know, employee A accusing employee
Right.
B. We might have to remove you from the situation because they're saying you did this, 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 and this, and we need to determine
So-
if that's true or not.
So I would be okay if it said accused of sexual harassment, arrested, or charged with a crime. That would cover all the things you want to cover.
Well,
And then
there
the
might be
only
a,
real-
that was just an example,
Well,
right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of
A better word.
accusations are bad, right? Because
Yeah.
literally, they're gonna call in and be like, you violated my Fourth Amendment right? Or, hey, this officer beat me up,
Mm-hmm.
which would be an accusation of a crime, right? He used excessive force, when actually we determined it wasn't. And I'd hate to
Yeah.
get a guy suspended for excessive force if it wasn't pretty blatantly excessive
Would the
force.
city be okay with just limiting it to cases where you're actually either arrested or charged?
Well, I think then the sexual harassment thing comes.
So,
becomes the
you know,
problem.
I've seen situations where we sometimes need to remove the employee from the situation. For example, bullying, you know, harassment, of course, stuff that, you know, we don't know immediately. And we need to find out, but we can't keep those individuals together while that's going on.
Agreed, but again, what we're looking at here is the difference between, you can always, on an emergency basis, yank them, whether or not they're gonna get paid in the meantime.
Yeah.
And I think in most cases that I've seen, if it's
Yeah, it's
fairly
weird.
severe, you're looking at least an arrest. Now, for just,
Yeah.
you know, harassment
General
interagency.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, no, you're not talking about arrest, but do you really want to?
So, right, so then the only difference, if you pull the accused
Mm-hmm.
and just left it as arrested or charged with a crime, the only difference is they get paid while they're suspended. So the only time, so you would pull their pay if they've been arrested or charged.
Unless the reason for the suspension is that they've either been arrested or charged. I could live with that. Chief, do you have an opinion on that?
I mean, the worst thing we do is pay somebody for a short amount of time.
Yeah,
Correct.
put them on an
and then
administrative
we
leave,
find out
yeah.
it's bad until, it can't
Well,
be that much
this
money.
language is talking specifically to crime itself.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it would be, we've had a few that were serious.
Mhm.
That, yeah, I'm kind of, but you're right, you know, we get accusations all the time that turn out to be nothing, but,
Really, the only difference is if we're paying them or not, if we leave the
Yeah.
accused in or take it out.
right.
And if it really is egregious, I mean,
We're gonna
do
I
that.
see plenty of arrests, it's gonna be an
Yeah.
arrest situation anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if it's that egregious, I don't think you're gonna get a whole lot of pushback from us.
So I've seen situations, like
Yeah.
I'll take the case of like a drug situation, right?
Right.
Where the employee is ultimately not charged. There's not enough evidence, there's not, you know, some of this, but there was, quote, what I would call reason to believe that was happening on the job. And I'm not saying on the police side, I'm saying, on, you know. And that situation, let's say they were, you know, driving a city vehicle or something, right? We would potentially want to remove them
And
from
you
service.
you still could,
Yep,
you just have to pay them until the drug test comes back positive and you just,
okay.
and
then we'd move to
dismiss them.
unpaid.
Okay,
Correct.
so I can live with what you're saying, but what if you're accused of,
Bank robbery.
yeah, you know, did something criminal out there and you're accused of it, would we still put you on paid until we know some facts?
Well, my argument would be if there's enough basis for the accusation, then there's probably gonna be PC. We may not be able to arrest you right now, but in the very near future, we're gonna develop enough to arrest you. Right?
Yeah.
If there's that much weight to the accusation.
Okay,
The
So,
only other thing I'm trying to, is it a policy or is it city policy? Because I think I can only do it for 5 days anyway, and then beyond that.
I think
it has to
that's
be
right,
approved by the
yes.
city manager.
yeah,
So it's gonna tie into that as well.
yeah. So I'm comfortable if we take out the issue of the accused, right?
Right.
Because theoretically, if they're accused and we don't have a whole, book of evidence, then perhaps we put them out on an administrative leave in an emergency fashion until we can flesh out whether this is fact or fiction. So
Correct.
I'm comfortable with that if you
Okay.
guys are.
yeah, if we
Yeah.
just take out accused, I'm
Yep.
totally comfortable with the
Okay.
rest of it.
Now, the only other thing I was thinking was on the back end of it, right?
Mm-hmm,
I guess we could work that out, 'cause just from a transaction standpoint, so put somebody on emergency suspension without pay, ends up not being criminal,
mm-hmm.
but does rise to the level of a 40-hour suspension without pay. Do we reimburse them the whole part, and then go back and then take it back out again?
I think there's reasonableness there,
Okay.
right? Yeah, I know exactly. If we suspended them for 40 hours,
But I haven't.
Now-
Yeah, but
now I
the
got-
suspension
right.
isn't gonna happen, and, yeah,
right?
Until later.
Would that suspension have been paid or unpaid in that scenario?
Ours are
Unpaid. So we could add, or is there a specific department policy about that, or
off the whole.
we can say, or that,
It's in the discipline, it talks about the discipline. Well, discipline really talks mostly about the grievance
The
procedure.
process,
Yeah, the
right.
process itself. This is more just an internal, so so I get hit with this criminal charge, I get automatically emergency suspension, they drop the criminal charges, but you violated
a whole bunch of
a
other
ton
stuff?
of things as far as policy, procedure.
That
Maybe
warrants a
department
suspension.
That warrants a 40-hour suspension. Are you gonna replenish my banks completely and then turn around and maybe take
No,
another 40
doesn't make
hours?
sense.
Yeah,
It's just process, really.
right.
How
And I
about if
think,
we-
I
yeah.
think it would be reasonable, right? Hey, we're gonna suspend you. You were suspended emergency for 40 hours. We're gonna suspend you another 40 hours and call it even.
Mm-hmm,
Well, you know what, too?
Right.
No, I just thought of something. You're right, let's leave it the way it is, because then the second suspension would then be grievable, but reference the time.
Correct.
And that would have to work its way all the way through the grievance process, so just leave it.
okay, all right,
Because then
Yeah.
they've already taken it from you.
Right.
Do it, and put it back anyway.
Right.
okay,
You just leave it.
okay. If at the conclusion of the internal investigation following an emergency suspension, there are no sustained allegations of criminal conduct, and should we say, or severe policy violation? Policy violation?
No,
No, 'cause that'll get-
separate from the criminal.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
just leave it.
So we're really kind of talking about that criminal.
Just a criminal,
element.
yeah.
Okay. Then the employee shall be paid for all the time the employee was on emergency suspension. Yeah?
Yeah.
I like that.
100% good with that.
Good. We had talked about Article 13. We had said, with FMLA, we just kind of cleaned up some of the language on 13.1, on 13.2. We just added the clarification that employees shall be responsible for their portion of insurance premiums for single independent coverage during any periods of unpaid leave of absence. And then on the 13.4, we added this really for more informational reasons for the members. Employees on unpaid leave of absence may elect to continue their benefit deductions by making payments to the city by the first of the month for the month following. If payments are not made, coverage can end or will end on the date premiums were last paid.
is it technically when they're last paid, or when that?
When
in
the
other words,
premium was last paid,
Yeah.
because that's when it would.
Are premiums paid at the back end or the front end?
The
would pay
front
in
end.
advance.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's paid at the front end, so let's say you
It's not the
didn't,
date they're paid, it would be the date they're through.
Yeah.
So it's like if we pay it on April
At
1st,
the
yeah,
expiration
it would lapse at the end of
of
that
when they're
premium.
past due.
Yes,
essentially.
Right.
yes,
Yeah, because what that's saying is we'll end on the date the premiums were last paid.
Yeah, it's not last paid, it's last,
it's last,
whatever the
covered.
word is.
How about
or
current?
last,
But just say when premiums were past due, because that would be the date after you should
Okay.
have made your last
Covers with
premium
Yeah.
payment and didn't.
I mean, you got some stuff in there, you know, falls in the middle of a month, and, you know, they don't prorate ours, so it's like, if you buy a month's worth of coverage, so you get those extra weeks regardless, they wouldn't catch a coverage off.
right. Yeah, okay.
Just only because it came up recently on the other bargaining union, unless it's in another section, what about military?
Oh, we've got that addressed,
That's
I
a
think.
It's in
in
another
the-
different, it's a
period.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so they could just pay it themselves.
Right.
okay. And, let's see, so on the grievance procedure on page 25, we had just made a suggested change that Greg had recommended. The parties agreed to oral closing arguments in lieu of written briefs. Good. Holidays, we started talking about that in Article 15. It's recognized that the city will close its offices for 13 official holidays. If additional holidays are added, this agreement will not require a separate MOU during the duration of this contract. So we basically said if they want to add, we'll take it. If they want to subtract, that's a different issue. All right, and then we added the number 13, day after Christmas, the police chief has discretion to adjust the third day as operational needs dictate. Okay. Let's see here, just a couple formatting little number things. Article 16, annual leave. This is where we made kind of a radical new idea.
You'll be happy with this.
One second, just Michelle, on that formatting, it goes from 15.2 to 15.5.
I saw that too, yeah.
And then 15.6.
Yeah, I think we crossed out the right numbers
Oh,
and
yeah.
highlighted the
Yep.
wrong ones.
Okay, 15,
So we should be 15,
Four.
4,
and then 5 here, okay.
actually 15.3.
Actually, it's.
15.3 and 15.4.
15.2, yeah.
1, 2,
15.
3, that should be 4, and
Oh.
then that is 5, and that is 6.
Okay.
So it's actually the 15.2 that wasn't changed.
Oh,
that needs
yep,
to be
yep,
made to
you're totally
15.3.
right.
So if we make that 15.4, then the other two work. Gotcha.
3, 4, and then,
5 and 6.
okay, we're good.
Is that
Very
the good one
good.
for you coming up?
This is the Clark cost.
Yeah, this is the,
Clause.
this is where the Clark call.
This makes up for
Yeah.
screwing you on the other one.
So, just so you're aware, so the philosophy we had was, you know, there's 5 of you guys, right? And so, instead of mirroring necessarily what the other contract did, why do we not have our own footprint in this contract about what that term and condition looks like? So that's kind of the philosophy.
We don't have tier 1 and tier 2, we have equality.
Yeah, we have, you know, what is the lieutenant's package, right? So what we did is we took 16.2 and we said, the following sections apply to all bargaining unit employees, which is, you know, the 5 individuals. The general terms of the accrual, the full-time lieutenants working a 40-hour week shall accrue at an equally prorated rate per pay period as allows, et cetera, et cetera. In the event the employee has worked less than a full year as a lieutenant, the total number of accrued hours will be reduced proportionally. So the chart is, you know, on the length of continuous service, and then we simply eliminated that other one, because it doesn't make sense to have 2 situations there. Yeah? Okay. He's moaning, that's not good.
Yeah, because it should be 84 hours bi-weekly that we're using, and not the 40-hour work week one.
They're both in there, because the 40-hour part's in there for the, if we ever got the,
Yeah, but,
The,
okay, that's
lieutenant
cool,
or
then we
whatever
can't
it is.
strike C.
okay,
Okay,
And
so
we gotta
don't
leave
strike
C in there.
Okay,
40 hours in case you ever got a 40-hour lieutenant.
Right,
so
that
don't
we didn't
strike
have to
C.
rewrite this.
right. Don't strike C because most of us, all of us are on 84 hours.
On that situation, okay. So we keep C, Okay,
Yeah.
And
You're being
then-
nice to the 40-hour guy, which I'm okay with.
and
You
then,
do 40 hours next week?
yeah.
No, but they're gonna earn the same
I know,
hours
that's what
each
I
year.
mean.
Yeah.
Well, do you want it
I'm-
that way?
Oh, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I'm perfectly
I
fine
mean,
with that.
We don't have that today, but,
We don't have one.
no.
Yeah, we would still wanna strike, you're correct.
So-
The hired prior to
Under C.
yeah, so the only thing we need to strike and see is
They've
Yeah.
hired.
hired prior to January
Mhm.
24, 2011.
Okay.
If we strike that, then the rest of
Yeah.
that works.
Yeah. Okay. And then, okay. I mean, I'm wondering if we just combine it and say,
Well, the 40-hour guy shouldn't be earning the same as the 84 guy.
According to this, they are though.
No, they should.
you know, so should it be prorated?
It should, I mean, before it
Mhm.
was a different rate.
Yeah.
So,
Before it was?
yeah,
Yeah,
different
last
rate.
contract it was absolutely different.
So what was it the last
I can't,
time?
I gotta be, I can't do it.
You'll never make it, chief.
Armin's looking for that 40-hour job.
Yeah.
No,
That's what I'm saying,
no, no,
he's
no,
gonna transfer
no.
next
Well, if
week.
you're gonna give me the same accruals, sure.
Yeah, so it was a little different, so do we keep that?
Yes,
Why was it a little different?
because he only works
Less
40
hours,
hours.
yeah.
instead
No, I-
of
yeah, I get
42
that part, but
Yeah.
it's not that big of a difference either. It's,
What's the
Well, I mean,
difference?
it's 80 to 84, I mean,
yeah,
But if you do have a 40.
Yeah, 26
It's
times
104 hours
It's gonna
a
be
year.
Yeah.
incredibly
Yeah.
unfair
Not
to the
giant.
84-hour guys.
Yeah.
'cause you're
Well,
giving them
it's
the
an
same.
extra pay period.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
period and a
unfair
half.
to the 84-hour.
We'll have
guy.
that back in there, even though we don't have any 40-hour people right now.
I'm okay with that.
Are you okay
good
with that?
The 40-hour guy earns just a little bit less
Yeah.
time, because he's
I mean, it
working
makes sense.
104
Yeah,
hours less
I mean, there
a
should be
year.
a slight difference. It's not a
Yeah.
big difference. It's
Yeah,
almost
I'm-
not worth,
He's
We don't have
required to
anybody
work
at 40.
104
Yeah.
less, that means he's
Right.
working.
yeah,
Right. We-
okay. And then,
don't
we
have
don't
any
strike
anyway.
C other than the language, right?
Right.
Okay. On D, we take out that first sentence and go with that,
Yeah,
okay? So,
yeah, I don't know if we're ever gonna have a part-time lieutenant.
yeah.
But I don't have trouble with the language being
Yeah.
in there.
I agree. Probationary period, should any employee in the probationary period be discharged, the employee shall forfeit all accrued annual leave. So I flagged it for myself and said, is that true?
I would say I'm okay with that if it's a new employee, like an outside hire.
Yeah, like
But
a,
it's not okay for
Inside,
anybody,
right?
right?
so,
Because that 10 years, they've earned it, so.
right, so,
So if you
So-
just want to add any outside hired or new employee in their
Mhm.
probationary period, I'd be okay with that.
but not in the case of a promotional
Correct.
person, right?
Right.
Okay, so I'm surprised that was in there that long, for me to have caught that. Hires who are, you know, new to the department, right?
Right.
Yeah. All right. And that, this does not apply to,
It wouldn't apply to.
so if you're,
a
if you
promotion.
are in your probationary as a lieutenant,
You
and
still
you're
get to keep your
discharged.
time.
even if you're in your probationary period and you did something crazy,
Well, the way it works
you're discharged for
is.
cause.
Yeah, but, and I'd have to find it, I don't know if it's contractual or if it's civil service rule. At 10 years, you get to keep your time. So we very rarely are gonna have a lieutenant under 10 years, but if the city wants to keep that consistent in here
Mhm.
and say, you know, if it's a promotion after the years of 10, he keeps it, or prior to
Yeah.
10 years of service, if that's what you wanna keep, then I don't
Okay.
have an issue with that. That would be
The old,
consistent.
the old language that we struck through kind of
Covers it.
covers it, yeah, I mean, because it's a.
Yeah.
A new employee is defined in Article 7.1, failed to
That's-
successfully complete the probationary period.
And that's why we never struck it before. Because
Well-
if you take out the any employee in the probationary period, which we added, if you take that out, then it reads, should a new employee as defined fail to complete his probationary period, then they shall forfeit all accrued leave. So if we actually take out what we added
Mhm.
and leave the rest of
But I still
that-
struggle with it because what if the person did something crazy and was discharged for cause?
What happens now?
If
Right.
they're in their probationary period, what happens now?
Well, again, it depends on how long they've been with the city.
Mm-hmm.
if they've been here 10 years or more, they still get to keep that.
Okay, so to me, that should say that.
Even with cause?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Where does it say?
I'll
I
have to
recall
find
seeing that
it.
in
I
city
don't-
policy, but is that
Yeah,
somewhere
I'll have
else?
to find it.
Okay.
Well, and this is just like statutory construction. If you put a sentence in there that says, hey, any probationary employee who doesn't complete their probationary, or let's call any new employee who's basically let go, shall be the language as read
yeah.
is, should a new employee as defined in Article 7.1 fail to successfully complete the probationary period, or should such employee be discharged, which means they're a new employee, they're probationary, so they either don't make it through the probationary period or there's a reason to fire them, they forfeit all accrued annual leave. If you just say that, then the construction of that is that if you don't include the other, then it's not part of it. So
Okay.
if you're saying,
So it's a cutout
if
of
you're
that
fired,
situation.
you know, for cause, then you lose your annual leave. That implies that if you're not fired for cause, you don't lose your leave. So as this is written, you'd say a new employee is gonna lose their accrued leave, and you're not mentioning the regular non-probationary employees. That means even if
Doesn't
they're
mean
fired
them.
for cause, they are getting their,
So if you let somebody resign, they get their leave?
no, they get, well, reading that, there's nowhere that it says they don't get their leave. So,
Okay,
now,
so
I'll
I was
also be
struggling-
the first to tell you
Uh-huh.
that when it comes to, and we're talking lieutenants who are never a problem, let's be honest, although,
And this is
You
not
never
coming
know.
from
Can you
the
validate
outside
that?
looking
You never
in.
but when you,
Would you like to comment on that?
when you make that a negotiable thing, that's also a good tool to help somebody voluntarily leave when you can negotiate over, you
Yeah.
know,
If
fine,
you, yeah,
if you leave, we'll
on
pay
your
you
own.
out for this.
Yep. So
But we're
my.
not including the cause language, right, because we're still talking about probationary.
Correct,
Right.
there's no cause.
So my issue was the concept of the term probationary there, because back over here, we're saying if you're a new lieutenant, you're in a
Yeah.
probationary period.
I
So
would,
that's
I would
where was
just strike
struggling.
the new language.
Uh-huh,
If you just strike the new language, then it reads, I would say properly.
okay,
Should a
Right.
new employee,
Should a new employee as defined in, again, 7.1, we are referring back to one, but should a new employee as defined in 7.1, which only addresses new employees now,
Yeah.
because 7.2 is the promoted one,
okay,
right?
Yeah.
Fail to successfully complete his probationary period, or such employee be discharged, that employee shall forfeit all accrued annual leave.
so, okay, yep, I can live with that. Yeah. All right, maximum accrual, annual leave normally is to be taken in the anniversary year in which it was accrued, unused, blah, 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 blah. Leave balances as of the first pay period of September in excess of 320 hours shall be paid to the employee minus required taxes and deductions, or at the employee's option deferred into the 457, at the rate of 1 hour of leave for 1 hour of pay, at the employee's regular rate of hourly pay in effect of the first day of the first full pay period of September of each year. That's a mouthful.
Yes.
I'll try to break that up a little bit. Does it make sense?
It does make sense.
Okay. This payment shall be made by the last paycheck issued in September of each year. Employees who wish to defer to their 457 account must indicate this to payroll before September 1. All that makes sense, right?
Doesn't have to be before September
Yeah,
1,
that- I
it has
would-
to be before it's paid.
Right.
Or before.
Or prior to the issuance of the second,
The earlier the better. Yeah.
well, yeah, but it would be, minimum would be prior to
Yeah.
the issuance of the second
Oh, yeah,
paycheck in
Because
September.
otherwise it's.
So
you
that
miss- you
requires
miss
them
it.
to keep
Otherwise
track
you
of when
missed
that
it.
is,
I put it-
but can we
I
just
paid
go
it
with
out.
September 1, just tell us, so we can.
Well, the problem with going on September 1 is that's the date we're gonna use for the number of hours over.
Oh, gotcha. How about by September 10th or something? I mean, I'd rather give them a specific date than, well, the second pay
The
period
10th
is
is
da, da,
fine.
da, da, you know.
There's no way we're gonna have that, I mean, the 10th is never gonna be the second pay period, so
No.
it's fine.
You good with it? I'm good with it then.
I mean, if somebody hits us up on the 15th, we're gonna take care of it anyway.
Yeah.
And they could always do it on their next paycheck and reverse it, you know,
Well,
if they needed to.
But
Just
the,
buy
yeah,
some
the
time
issue
off for
becomes,
all these things.
the issue becomes the October 1 date.
I know.
Right, so if you're gonna if they get paid out in September
But we're
and
just
fix it
talking
in
that they're
October.
deferring it to their 457, which has nothing to do with any of that, that's just cash. So you have
Any
till the
old
end of the
time.
year to take care of the cash part. if you
Trying to
want.
make friends.
They're like, zip
So
it.
if you
Well,
wanted-
it'll make a difference pension-wise.
Nope. Nope. So if you wanted your payout to go to your 457 and
Right.
you went, shoot, I forgot.
Right,
On your next paycheck, you could have money go to your 457 instead. You could do it for the next 3 paychecks to match.
I could send it myself,
No,
right.
we would do it.
No, I
We
can
would just
send it.
increase your deduction.
You just have to tell me how much.
It's just cash, wouldn't change your pension at all, it just changes how much goes
So I'll just
into
transfer
your
it.
bank account and how much goes goes to the pension people as cash.
Okay,
At 457,
help me,
it's going to
help me
Mission
though,
Square.
how it doesn't affect the pension.
Because it's going to Mission Square, it's just cash to your 457, not your pension.
Yeah,
Doesn't
nothing to
change
do
any
No,
of
no,
your
no,
pen-
but your income's gonna change. You'll have a different income since
No.
we start October 1.
But this
when
is
they-
just where your
when you
cash is
figure.
going, it's going to one bank account or another, basically. It's going to your Mission Square bank account instead of your checking account, is all the difference. It
It's
doesn't-
on your net pay.
It's on the net.
Because your pension is calculated before that.
Yeah, so after all that, and then your net pay, they're saying. it
Where
should
would you
just be
like your
moved
net
up.
pay
Yeah.
to go?
Help, I'm trying, I am, but I have to get it through my head, I really do.
We get it.
So, you give Rick his payout, and it's, to make the numbers easy, $1,000. You pay out the second check in September, right? And
he
then,
says, shoot, I wish I could have put that to my
right,
457.
and then he retires on October 1.
Well,
Oh.
if you retire in between, I can't really.
No, of any year, as long as that's one of his 3 high, it's
Oh.
gonna make a difference.
No, it's not, it's just his cash. I'm sending it to Mission Square to his 457 instead of sending it to his bank account. It has
His take-home
nothing to
pay.
do with the pensionability.
Okay.
If you increase your
Stay with me.
457 anytime,
Stay with
it doesn't change how
Stay
much
with
your
me,
pension is.
though. You've paid it out at this point,
Yep,
right?
Yep.
So that's gonna be earned income to him,
yep,
subject to taxes,
yep.
right?
This
So he's
is
paid-
net after all the taxes.
So he,
and
well,
pension.
right, but
Yeah.
457
It's gonna
is
change your taxes.
pre-tax.
Correct.
So now he's received this money,
Mm-hmm.
post-tax.
Yep.
To put the same amount in pre-tax is gonna cost him more money,
He
which
can
is
pay-
6
Not
and
if
1.
he reduces his check next time. He could increase his 457 on the next paycheck, it wouldn't make any difference. It may change his withholding.
He would be best
Which
just to
would
tell
all
us
be
by
done at the end
September
of the year.
10th.
100% he would, but what worries me is actually, it's gonna make his income look higher.
If you take it in cash,
you
your
take
income
it-
is higher, but you can make that up in following paychecks by by increasing your 457 amount. And over the space of the calendar
I'm just-
year,
I'm just trying, what I'm using this for is average final compensation.
that doesn't change it.
Well, it would,
Nope.
hold on, this is the problem we had, is that we made the payouts 1 year after October 1. We had that problem,
Right.
where we made the payouts after October 1. In fact, it was just last year, as I recall.
But this isn't,
Because we had to change, remember, we had to go back and change the whole actuarial value of the pension, because we
This
were
isn't-
counting stuff paid out in the following fiscal year on the prior fiscal year.
I know what you're saying, but this isn't changing the payout. This is just changing where that cash is going to. It's not,
again,
because it's not gonna change your pensionable
I'm
income.
understood.
Okay,
It's when it was issued became the problem, is that we had these checks issued after October 1, so
Right.
they became on the new fiscal year, so that but they were reported on the prior fiscal year, and that threw off the whole valuation of the pension.
So do you think that we should say if it's not by September 10th, it isn't?
No, because they
No,
can
as
change
long
their
as-
457 anytime they want. It's 457 money, not pension money.
They need to do it by September 10th.
Yeah, they'd be very much best off to do it.
I don't want to hear from
If they-
September 11th.
Right. If
I
they-
promise if they change their mind, it won't matter, they can call me.
Okay,
All right. We are flexible, but get it in before September 10th.
Right.
That would be the best for everyone. All right. 16.3, we had kind of gotten that out of there, okay? 16.4, an employee who is terminated for cause of who resigns and provides less than a 2-week notice and/or fails to work the entire full notice period shall not be eligible. So that kind of follows city policy. To me, it was a little vague before, so what is your thoughts on that concept?
I do have a question reading that. If you read the next line, it says, okay, and provides less than a 2-week notice and or fails to work the full notice period, shall not be eligible for compensation for accumulated unused annual leave. Okay, so it's saying if you get fired or you don't give a 2-week notice, you ain't getting paid out for your leave.
That is current city policy as well, yeah.
The next sentence says, an
Okay.
employee who resigns with a 2-week notice or retires under the provisions of the city's pension plan shall be paid out for all their unused leave. The conflict, the unclarity is this. In theory, if somebody's fully vested and you fire them today, they're going to be retiring under the city's pension plan. So
Yeah.
my question, what's the intent if you're vested and you screw up and they fire you, is the intent to say, well, he's already vested, so he's going to be paid out for his leave? Or is the intent of the city to say, no, we had to fire him for cause, therefore he loses his unpaid leave?
and then I got something else for you.
Okay.
I get
I can only
diagnosed.
handle like one thing at a
Okay.
time.
I get diagnosed with cancer today.
Okay.
They give me 3 months to live.
Uh-huh.
I'm not working out a 2-week notice.
Well, that's the kind of thing we would do an
But,
exception probably.
but
you know.
the contract says, and I believe that you would, but I don't know who's gonna be sitting in that seat 10 years from now,
Yeah.
right?
Um,
That's worrisome to me. If
I
I
see.
can't, if I'm sick and I can't work out my notice because I'm having to retire because I have some deadly
yeah.
disease.
Or you were, shot terribly or something, yeah.
Right.
So perhaps we say, so what it said before was, an
What if
employee
you
who is terminated
take
for
out
cause and/or
the work
resigns.
portion of it? It's just
Yes,
the
if you
2-week
take out,
notice.
100% good with that.
I think it's more of an issue with the general employees.
Yes, I would
than
agree
it
with
is
that.
with the police, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, I don't want Sigrid to give me 2 weeks'
Right.
notice and then take 2 weeks vacation.
On
That
their
doesn't
side,
help me.
Where I see it,
It's the rank and file.
it's the rank and file side, and especially the new hires,
Yeah.
Right.
because if they're not,
If you don't get them to work out that 2
or
weeks,
they haven't
that
gotten to the
screws
point
you
where
for
they're
2 weeks.
self-sustaining, that they can take reports.
Mhm.
And literally, I've got a training officer babysitting somebody for 2 weeks just so they can work out those 2 weeks. It's more of a burden on them.
But
I
you
don't
can
see it-
always give them in lieu of notice and ship
That's
them out
what we do.
before.
Mhm.
That always
City
works.
side.
But
But you-
that's not on
we
them.
don't- Thanks for giving it, but we
Yeah.
don't give it signatures.
But we would still want them to at least give it,
Which is what
or
they're
do
trying
we
And
not?
then we don't have to take
They
it.
do, but at least they've
Like you said,
That-
pushed their side, given their notice, and it's supposed to, but operational for me, it's
Yeah, I
easier
don't-
just
I don't
to
work
take
full
it.
notice period unless they have
Gotcha.
a doctor's.
Okay.
No.
Which is fine.
Just take it out.
So guys, what if we took out what you proposed, right?
Yeah.
Just take out, we're just asking them to provide a 2 weeks notice.
Right.
So an
So,
employee
and
who is
provides less than
terminated
2
for
weeks'
cause or
notice.
who resigns and provides less than a 2-week notice should not be eligible.
Right, and then strike from end to the end of that sentence, right?
Yeah. Okay. Pay for
Does
such
that have
a,
anything to do
Because
with
then
your 10-year thing?
we also have, we also have, yes, it does. Absolutely it does.
See, I listen.
So if they resign prior to 10 years, then they don't get their vacation when they.
But if they resign after 10 years with no notice, they get it anyway.
Yep,
What does
they do,
this have?
okay, so,
And where's the 10-year thing written?
Yeah, I'll have to
Yeah,
find it.
you have to find it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I will, I will
I've
find
not
it
seen
for
that.
you.
I've gone over a lot of city pod, I've never seen that,
I will
so
find it for
it's
you.
gotta be somewhere.
Yeah,
Um,
that was the reason why they weren't letting you sell time back
Oh,
till 10 years and all that stuff. That was part of it. That was sick time, but,
The 10 years is the vesting period, right?
right, it is the vesting
And
period.
so in theory,
Mhm.
anybody who quits after 10 years they're retiring under the provisions of the city's pension plan.
Oh, is that what it is?
that's why that's there, we think?
I mean, that's what the
Yeah,
language
That's what it
that's
says,
what the
yeah,
language
that's what it
says.
says.
So
Yes.
even,
Okay.
once you, but that was my question to you is, okay, I'm seeing language that there's not clarity on, what if you are both, the first sentence says, hey, you weren't terminated for cause, but the second says you do get paid out if you retire under the city's pension plan.
Mm-hmm,
So right now,
So
if
you're
I don't give
retiring,
2
not
week,
resigning.
yeah, if I don't give 2 week notice, but I'm vested, I'm getting paid out for it. My question is, because there's conflict in the language, if I'm also vested, but instead of me giving notice, you guys are firing me for cause, am I still getting paid out for it?
or is it in all cases, if you're vested and you're retiring?
You get your money.
So do we need to say that?
But we need to find that
We
language.
need to find the language
Yeah,
first.
all right,
Well, when you say find the language, we want that language in here.
yeah.
But,
But it
But
must
we
be
don't know where
somewhere
it
else,
was
and we don't
before,
want it to
yeah.
conflict.
right.
And because, really, there's a
Yeah.
couple types of resignations then, right? There's I'm resigning because I don't want to work here
And
anymore.
this only refers to annual leave, so not
Yeah,
sick leave.
yeah, so, and again, that's not terribly clear here, right?
So that's all that's
it's in that
protected in the
section,
10-year
but-
is the annual, not the sick?
Apparently.
Oh.
Oh, well, we need to find that
Well,
out.
we need to find out.
Yeah,
No,
does
I,
that make a
I,
difference in tier 1 and tier 2 also?
it should, well, they don't get as much, but,
Yours is different.
Mm-hmm,
yeah, we're gonna have to,
yeah, let's ferret that out
let's
a bit.
come back to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. 17 hours of work, we talked about 17.2. The police chief or designee, with the approval of city manager, may establish the basic work schedules and hours of work best suited to meet the needs of the department to provide proper services to the community. We'll come back to 17.3 at such time as it's appropriate, as we've discussed in the
Yes,
past.
100%. That's where I was
I'm
about
not
to
even
go
gonna
with
try
that.
it this time.
That's where I was about to go with that.
I know better. No, don't poke that bear. Till you have something in hand, girl.
Is that emergency leave?
Yeah, yep,
That would be it.
yep. Looking at Article 18.3, departmental and/or city policies concerning the use of take-home vehicles, blah, 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 is incorporated, so just kind of a cleanup there. Okay. Let's see here. 19.3, we talked about accumulation and the
Bless you.
carry forth limit. So I think that was just a little cleanup on language. Until we get to the next page, which is like, right?
Right.
So, it starts the sentence at the maximum, so 19.3, the maximum unused sick leave that may be exchanged for pay or deferral in any 1 year is unlimited as long as each member maintains a balance of at least 84 hours of accumulated sick leave. So, in the past, it tried to limit, that what can be exchanged and deferred. We've changed that to unlimited as long as they keep in the bank 84 hours. Are we still comfortable there?
I am very comfortable with that.
Good, okay. And then, let's see here. So 19.4, we'll have to get the numbers and stuff cleaned up, but amounts of sick leave above 750 hours, all accrued sick leave balances as of September 1 of each fiscal year, which are in excess of 750 hours, shall be paid to the employee minus required taxes and deductions by the city at the employee's regular hourly rate for each hour of sick leave. B, at the employee's option, the employee may defer this payment into a 457 up to the maximum dollar amount permitted by law. If electing the deferral as opposed to a payout at the amounts above 750 hours, employees must indicate this choice in writing to payroll before September 1. Is that another
10.
one? We want 10th?
10.
Okay. Okay. Amounts of sick leave at or below 750 hours, employees may elect to cash in or defer into their 457 some portion of accumulated sick leave. Is that still true? Okay. Item D, all members must maintain a minimum balance of 84 hours of sick leave. They may exchange any additional hours of unused sick leave for pay or deferral into the 457 account. Let's see, each
Are we saying
employee,
this a bunch of times?
It seems like it.
huh?
Seems like you're saying the same thing 3 times.
It feels like that, but is it?
No, it's not.
I think it's not, but each employee, blah, 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 as of September 15th, do we want that the 10th? Or the second pay period, what is that?
Second.
It's in-
457 thing is the 10th, the payout's
Yeah.
going to be by the
Second
second
pay
week.
period. Second pay
Second
period.
pay period.
Balances are as of the 1st of September.
Right.
Okay. So by the second pay
That's,
period?
yeah, that's rate
I mean,
as
we're
of.
gonna pay it out before
Raise
the
as
end
of
of
September
September.
15th.
The work, yeah.
September 1, your pay rate's not gonna change between
No.
September 1 and 15.
What if you
Okay.
got a,
And then
you got
employees are
what if you
required,
got a promotion?
so employees are required to submit their submission for payout or deferral no later than September 10th, right?
You're right, actually.
Okay,
Don't be promoting
So it helps
in
my guys if I
September.
wait till the 15th. Yeah.
all right. Failure to state a preference will result in an employee's accrued sick leave being banked for future use or payoff as provided herein. Any sick leave taken after the filing of such form shall first be deducted from accrual sick leave in the bank, and secondly from those days for which payment is sought but yet not yet paid. And we struck a
Why don't
bunch
we make this
of
complicated?
repetitive stuff, right? Then we moved over to 19.6.
So that basically says, if you say I want to sell back 100 hours, and then you take a sick day, it comes out of your bank, it doesn't come out of the 100, what if it drops you below 84?
You can't do it then. You gotta
That's
keep
No,
it
you're
84.
taking
Well,
It's
you-
gonna happen. Because we've had
So
that.
you have
one.
184
Yeah.
hours,
Right.
and you say I want 100 paid, then you
Mhm.
take a sick day.
Right.
Okay, so to me, you're
You're
not
gonna be
taking
below your
another day
84.
until it's built back up.
No, but.
But they're
we've
gonna
had
call
that
out
same
sick if
issue
they're
with-
gonna
with
call out
fire,
sick,
when it's
right?
just like there's an hour here and there where it's gonna not be.
Right.
exact.
So is
You
84
can't-
enough?
Yeah,
And this
and
is
that's-
lieutenants,
It's
and let's not
impossible.
worry about it?
Well, no, well, here's the thing is, like, the numbers never work out exactly,
No,
right?
you
Sure.
don't. No,
So,
no.
I know.
so like, I may have
These payroll people
the
are always finding
184.6,
problems in it.
right? And then I can't take 85, 100, well, 183.6. I can't take 100,
Right.
right? But I can't take 99.6 either.
Sure, you could.
Yeah, you can.
If you're good with that.
What do they do with fire when that happens?
Same thing.
Pretend we don't see it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's, you're
Some
not.
of it you
just
can't
pay out the
avoid.
amount
I mean,
you
there's
ask
no-
and they'll
Yeah,
fall a
because
little
people
below
legitimately
80.
Because
get
you're gonna
sick,
earn
Right.
it,
you know,
right?
stuff
Right.
like this.
If you happen to have a
So-
sick day, it's.
But to me,
it's
it's
usually
just,
the person's
you know,
actually
kind of a
sick.
snapshot,
You know,
right?
it's-
Where
it's-
when
I
we
give
had
them
the
the benefit of
intention
the
to
doubt.
take that out, this was the
If,
snapshot.
as
If
long
you're
as
really
there were
that
84 hours there at
conniving,
the
then
time we
no.
were gonna take it, you
No,
can
more
take
power
it.
to
That's
you.
kind of
And then
where
if you,
we've had
yeah,
to
if you
live.
get sick and lose a day, so be it. You drop to 72 for one pay period and then you're building back up.
Yeah,
I'm
so
good with
I
that.
think it's really a snapshot.
Yeah,
sick
and
day
I
for you
think,
guys is-
I think it's a whole lot better at 84 than we were letting them go
I
to
can't-
40.
Absolutely
Yeah,
right,
and
you're
the
absolutely
And the kind of people
right.
that are selling.
It's better for everybody. It's better for them
Everybody.
and
They have
the city.
600 hours.
Yeah.
Better for
They
everybody.
don't go to
Absolutely,
84.
because, you know,
of
again,
the
you
time,
could get
you know.
unexpectedly ill and need
Right.
more
Guys
than
have
40
that
hours off all of a sudden,
Right.
right? So,
Right.
yes.
Well,
I
all
think
right.
We want
having a
them
pay
to sell
period
it
in the
back in
bank
10
is a
years.
reasonable
That's
thing
all.
to
Yeah,
ask people.
and we can, you know, consider that
Well,
as,
let's hope
at the
that
time you're eligible for payout, that is the
But this is
scenario it has to be.
Right.
Whether that changes right after that or not is a different matter.
Correct.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm okay with
all
that.
right, good. So nothing really exciting until we struck some language on, page 38. The numbers are kind of screwy, but, we can that's, I rely on our legal department to help with that at the end of the process. They're good at it. So we struck 19.11, okay? Because it kind of says it in the prior. And let's see, An employee who is fired, dismissed, or quits or separates from the city without appropriate notice shall forfeit accrued sick leave. Now, is that true for everybody, or is it, again, a kind of a bifurcated situation with that?
Well, yeah, look at 19.9.
Any employee who resigns with 2 weeks' notice and has a minimum of 10 years of service with the city, or retires under the provisions of the city's plan,
Is
shall be entitled to a lump sum.
for the
That's where you saw
unused
it.
sick leave, that's where I saw it.
Yep,
Yes.
so that's,
Well,
is that true?
this is not helping me, this is not in my favor, but that refers to sick leave. They are otherwise entitled to take annual leave as long as they give the 2-week notice from day one. Right, as long as they give their 2-week notice, they're entitled to take their annual leave from the day they start here. Sick doesn't kick in till 10 years, so I misspoke.
Okay, so annual leave, we have correct.
Yes,
That provision kicks in under the circumstance of the sick leave.
correct,
Okay,
right. So if they leave any time before 10 years, whether they give notice or not, they're not getting paid their sick leave. If they give you 2 weeks' notice at 10 years in a day, they get their
they
sick
get their
leave.
sick leave. Yep, all right, that makes sense.
So
Good.
we don't pay out sick leave on people?
Not less than 10.
Really? Why?
I don't know. I mean, I'm okay with it if you want to pay them out, but I'm very seldom going to have a lieutenant that's less than 10 years. But
Certainly, yeah.
But I do, if you want to pay out sick leave when they leave at less than 10, I'm okay with that.
Well, I don't prefer to add cost at the moment, but,
I mean, now
So-
we're letting them sell it back, all but, so it's, you're only,
Well, I think the sellback is huge advantage city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The faster they sell it, the better
Yeah, yeah,
advantage
the
city.
cheaper
well,
it
no,
is,
because now if I'm letting them sell it back in the first 10 years, they don't ever get it paid out. They can only use it
Well, that,
based on
that,
this, so now I'm
that
being really
was,
generous.
well, that was,
Because they were gonna lose it before.
that's right, yeah, that's a
If they
great
were,
point.
if they
Well,
put
no,
it
because
8, they were
they're-
losing it all. Now I'm letting
No,
them pay
but-
it back. I'm letting
Letting
them
them
pay it
sell
out
it,
over
yeah.
those 8 years.
no, because if, here's the thing.
Oh, they have to build up to 84 first.
Right, they gotta get to 84 first, and
To keep in
then
the
you got,
bank.
and you still
Yeah.
gotta pay them out once they get to 720.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's a true point.
Over or under 10, it won't
So
make
really,
any
it's that-
difference. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of
I
sense.
don't care.
But, yeah.
Tell them not to pay it back out. I mean, we pay out everything.
Again,
Yeah,
if
great
you wanna
point.
strike that and say, you know, as long as you give us 2 weeks' notice, you get
We
whether
think
you have
about
10 years of service or not, that's fine with me. I'm not gonna argue that one.
Interesting.
And again,
interesting
this is
topic.
lieutenant's contract. How
Right.
many of them are gonna
That's
be
right.
in there and not be 10 years anyway?
Yeah.
So it is kind of a.
I think that's gonna be a
Yeah,
very
it's kind of a
rare
moot point.
The way
occasion.
law enforcement is going.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, it may be more prominent in the not so distant future, but as long as we're here, it's probably not gonna happen.
All right, so we're good with
Yeah,
Article
this contract
20.
will probably be not or not valid at
Article.
that point in time when it starts.
Every single
One.
Tier 1 employee will be eligible to retire if we do a 3-year deal
Yeah.
before the expiration of this contract.
That's
Every
super.
single Tier 1.
Sheesh, okay.
Yeah, but that's a lot of.
Doesn't mean they
people-
will,
or-
just
Right.
means
Two
that.
people that are gonna be 10
Right.
Well,
years.
you know, and we're
Right.
seeing that in other contracts, excuse me, where we've got people, you know, kind of a whole cohort, both in fire and police, that are suddenly eligible, and in fact in the city too. We've got a cohort that, you know, collectively could all be done around the same period of time. So it seems like they.
it up, so a little reward at the end would be nice.
Well, and we get that. What is
Just
this thing
saying.
doing? I don't know why that's doing that, but something's wrong. Okay.
You just don't.
Okay. After a slight technology issue, yeah.
Technological delay.
Let's see here. Okay, so we talked a little bit in 22 about uniforms and the proration. I think we had talked about that one.
Already to 22? All right.
At 23, we had talked about the concept that people have different beloveds as they
Yes.
as society has changed, families have changed, this kind of thing. And so, Chief, we added, at his or her sole discretion, the chief may permit a one-time bereavement leave benefit for other than immediate family as defined above.
Okay.
So we've had, for example, can you give me a couple of examples we had
Sure.
talked about before?
Sure, civil partner,
Yeah,
right, is not much closer to my best buddy than I am my brother.
yeah,
It would affect me more to not be able to go to his. I mean, I would like to go to both, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. And then, you know, we all had that family friend that we called uncle or aunt growing
Yeah.
up that isn't actually blood related, but we're really close to. You know?
it's
But
freaking out on me again.
Yes. You might have not charged it.
mine's still running, right?
The battery bank.
I think the
Yeah.
battery bank is
Yeah.
not charged.
Well, it's like if the battery bank's not working, that's even worse than the original thing not working. Okay, I'm gonna try it again here. Okay.
So,
So, Chief, are you okay with that language as proposed?
Yeah, I was just funny because I just saw an article about
Yeah.
a foster parent who raised this kid, and he happened to be a police officer who took after the foster parent,
Oh,
but never officially adopted.
so that person legally would be considered local parentis.
Yeah, never adopted,
Yeah.
so not a step parent.
But they would be, legally, they'd probably be considered in
Like a
the
guardian.
place of, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but yeah, that's
So
exactly
it
the kind
doesn't
of
fit that
situation.
definition exactly, but
Correct.
it'd be like, yeah, that
So-
makes sense.
I
Uh-huh.
would like to talk about that, but Greg's got something on Article 22
Oh, okay.
first.
Yeah, on 22.9,
Mm-hmm,
basically it's set up so that if you get promoted and put in a position where you're gonna work cities,
Mhm.
that you get your $1,000 prorated.
mm-hmm.
And to me, that kind of doesn't make sense.
I thought we changed that, or was that the other contract?
Yeah, I thought we talked about changing it too.
What were we talking about?
That,
changing it
well,
to?
the
Or
clothing's
just
gonna
it
cost
doesn't
them the
matter?
same amount of money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I get promoted and put in a position in the last month, well, I need a wardrobe now. I don't need just, $100 of it and then wear the same thing for that month till I get the next 1,000. I think it should be the $1,000 whenever you're
$750 the
put
first
into
year and
that.
Yeah,
$1,000 the
It's
second.
750 and 1,000.
It doesn't say, the
no, that
prorated I
was-
thought was if
that's
you
the other
got
count.
demoted back.
Right, the 750 and the 1000's rank and file.
Shouldn't
Is
this
rank
go
and
the-
file, yeah.
Yeah,
And to
yeah,
go the
it used
same
to
way?
be.
That
So,
was well written.
That is what we said.
Yeah, I think that is
Yeah,
a fair,
that's a great point,
fair
Greg.
point, right?
Yeah,
So especially a lieutenant who's
yeah,
ostensibly going to be the commander of the unit.
yeah.
And that he can afford to buy 2 pairs of pants and 1 tie or something, we're gonna
Yeah.
have a problem when he's working
Yeah,
a
'cause
5-day
it's-
week, you know
It's
what
gonna
I
be
mean?
like.
Yeah, it's gonna get rough, yeah. So,
All right, so,
Your shirt.
yeah,
With your name on it.
yeah,
so would we say then, this allowance shall be paid in one installment, period?
Can we just write it the same way the other one is? And make them the same?
are they
They
Well,
doing,
get
these-
$750 and then they get $1,000 again in January.
yeah, just bring us back to language from that one next
Okay.
time and we'll look at it.
I feel like we beat that one up
We
already.
did, I had Match Ayuba on here, so
Yeah.
I think we
Ayuba?
talked about that before.
Yeah.
Okay,
She has the old notes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm like 2 versions behind everybody.
oh, okay, all right, good, so we'll
I have
put that
notes in
in
my
there.
head.
Just
Okay.
call me Ayuba and make
They're
it fine.
lonely up there.
Okay.
And
All
then
right.
the bereavement leave.
Yep, so we just
So,
talked about that a little bit.
I don't wanna push it,
Yep, so,
but let's say,
uh-huh,
God forbid, I had a really bad year, Kirsten goes, and my best friend goes. Yours-
You've got all that sick pay.
hold on now. It says a one-time bereavement leave.
I guess that'll be up to him.
Well, right, but if we put one time in there, then he can
You have
only
to
do
But he
one
can
time.
still,
yeah. So,
Now, I understand, my 14 uncles
Yeah.
on my mother's side all passing on the same day
right,
would be a little different, right? But I think we could trust the chief to discern whether guys are being legit or not. You
In
know,
other words, just strike the word one time.
Correct,
Because he's
and
going to
give
give
him,
discretion anyway.
and give him
just
the
the full
discretion.
discretion.
Yeah.
Chief?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Power, you
Well,
want the power?
So if we
Remember
said,
those 5 people?
yeah,
The board's good with you?
yeah, the chief may permit bereavement leave
Why do I see
for
a
other
light
than
saying
immediate
that?
family as
As
defined
defined
above.
above, at his sole
You cut your
discretion.
heads
Yeah.
off.
Perfectly good with that.
Okay, good, good.
Oh, the next one.
All right,
What you
so,
coming at me?
Little
yeah,
retirement.
What you
so-
bringing me?
So when you, well, let's talk about it a little bit, right?
Okay.
So when you guys had suggested a proposal of the 135, if that's the number I remember, you know, what does that look like to you? Is that
We haven't-
we get
We
there
haven't
in 3
officially
years?
proposed it, but that's.
No, but that was
that's
just our
right.
first theoretical
Right.
discussion, right? As you think about that, is that something you see, you know, or is that the entry level, or is that a 3-year build, or what is that? What does that look like for you
Well,
guys?
yeah,
I
this is
can
where,
guess,
this
but
is
I'm
where,
not gonna.
right. This is where we run into an issue, right?
Okay,
Agreeing to wages for more than 1 year, the way wage growth is going in public safety right now, is a real disadvantage to me. It just is.
certainly.
And I understand that it costs the city more money to do these things each year.
If we're on salary, we get paid regardless.
I don't like reopeners, right?
Right.
I've already said that, right?
Yeah, I know
yeah.
you don't, I know you don't like the openers. But the problem is with the wage growth the way it is right now, it's really hard for me to agree, right? And then, you know, last year, or this year really, we agreed to, hey, we won't take a raise this year
Yeah.
because the city was good to us. We're the 5 people, 6 for right now, 6 people in the city in a collective bargaining unit who were like, hey, you know the city was good to us this year. And then we watch guys get 13+% raises.
Mm-hmm,
We're not complaining this year. Didn't send an MOU or anything like that.
sure.
But we're gonna have to get caught up come October 1.
So.
You know what I mean?
When you guys had agreed to that year where
What are
there
you at
wasn't a
now?
change?
108 and
Yeah.
change.
Yeah, so they're
So
here.
if you had gotten
The
Because
13.3.
10%,
Well, 13.3 is what the
Hey,
9 going to
no,
10
well-
sergeant.
okay.
But looking back though, what did you trade for that? Because certainly you wouldn't have just done that for nothing.
No, yeah, actually what we traded, tier 2 got most of the benefits from. It was some pension changes.
Okay.
Which tier 2, remember the tier 1 guys still aren't where they were the day they got hired.
Mm-hmm,
We're still not at the same pension we were promised the day we got hired. We did get some improvement. We went from 25 to 20 for the drop.
Economic changes, or
Hmm?
did economic changes?
Yeah, that was the whole 2011
Okay.
fiasco.
Because,
catastrophe.
you know, there's one philosophy where, you know, well, if they agreed to that and then, you know, and they got a bunch of stuff on the pension side, you know, the city's not obligated to quote, make up for that.
And I'm not asking you to. That would have
Yeah.
been an MOU this year, right?
Whereas the other group had a reopener.
I think.
I'm just
yeah,
asking, because
yeah,
I wasn't here, I
think,
don't know.
And we kind of discussed this the last time, but I think the
Uh-huh.
bottom line is you're asking, in theory, we think we're better off with a 1-year deal on wages.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's open for negotiation.
Right.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, so.
So, you know, thinking through both of those things, though, you know, what, and I'm, you know, kind of researching some of this stuff, and I'm finding out 2 things. I'm finding out that unions believe that wage growth is still going, but that cities are not budgeting in that same fashion. That's kind of what I'm seeing. I could be wrong, I don't know.
Okay, but I don't think it's arguable that public safety pay right now
Mhm.
is going like gangbusters. All across the state, I'm sure he could actually give you more information than I can on
Yeah.
that. But if you look, and then, you know, again, I'm not making a wage proposal at this point,
No,
but I
no,
can
of
tell
course.
you, I
Yeah.
did a public records request with the sheriff's office.
Mm-hmm,
Now, the way they do theirs is entry level, midpoint, and a max.
uh-huh,
Right? We are, your least, take away our newly promoted lieutenant.
this poor
promoted
guy gets
lieutenant,
sidelined in all
right?
these discussions.
Your least experienced lieutenant here is 4+ years.
Uh-huh,
At the lieutenant rank, that's gotta be at least midpoint, right?
yeah,
Probably.
Yeah.
but
I
don't-
get it, it wouldn't be
yeah.
midpoint at rank and file, but for lieutenants, you're promoting late and there's a shorter time period in that.
We've
in
not
that rank.
really benchmarked off the sheriff's office, though, have we?
Understood. Well, here we go.
Okay.
Not
I'm just
to,
trying to
not to
learn.
drag
Yeah.
you back,
Okay.
right? But all of the discussions we had prior to going to impasse at the last contract,
Mm-hmm.
the comparisons were Daytona and the sheriff's office. And literally at the imposition hearing,
Uh-huh.
the city changed their comparators to other cities where we've never lost anybody to. Right?
Okay.
When we lose
Uh-huh.
people here, where do they go? They go to Daytona and they go to the sheriff's office.
Oh, certainly, right?
Or
But-
Orange County, which you certainly don't want me to draw as a comparator.
Yeah. So
Right.
those places have a couple things we don't have. They're not built out. Sheriff's office seems to have unlimited resources. And they have, at least in Daytona, they've got a lot of property tax coming in.
Well, sure, same thing, county's
Yeah.
still going
Yeah.
off property taxes.
And they
They're
also
not-
have
Yeah,
many more employees that they have to pay.
totally, yep.
Right.
But they seem to have
But they
a
are-
larger pool of resources.
They have
But they are
much
legit,
bigger tax.
Yeah.
they are our legitimate comparators. That's who we lose people to.
They're competitors, I don't know if they're comparators, right? Because of the number of population and the number of
Well, the
employees.
Daytona population is
and-
really not that much greater than
Yeah.
ours, and their actual per capita income's considerably lower than ours.
But their tax base.
Well, because their millage rate is over 7.
Mm-hmm.
We have, in my opinion, artificially kept our millage rate too low in this city. That's not the union's fault.
Yeah, and
Right,
lamentably, it's outside of my,
Outside of
Span of
your
control,
control.
right?
I
But,
understand that. But understand the perspective of the union when we come in here to
yes,
negotiate.
sir, yep.
Right?
Yeah, because they would say, well, that's not our problem.
Right.
Right? Our problem is we want to be market competitive.
Correct.
Yeah, and so I think the city recognizes that.
And really,
and we
at
wanna
this
give you a
point,
fair offer.
at this point, we're not even competitive with our rank and file.
Yes, and we're aware of.
That poor guy right there
that
took a
concern.
$20,000 pay cut to promote. Yeah, I'm sorry, 18,000.
Yeah, so we're looking at all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so, again, I come back to my original question, when we first, talked about the theoretical number, what did that look like for you guys? Is that like
That would
today,
be,
or is that
that would
like-
be the first year.
Okay, okay.
And then, honestly, and I've told you this before, the lieutenants are good with just keeping
Up with
the correct
yeah.
spacing with rank and file.
Okay.
We're not coming here asking, I'm not gonna sit down
Yeah,
and
and I
say,
recognize
I need
that.
165.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not doing
Yeah.
that, right? Because I will tell you, 161 is the top number for the sheriff's office lieutenants.
Yeah,
Is
Top number.
161. Top
yeah,
number,
yeah,
yes.
we're aware of that,
Yeah,
And you mentioned how, maybe the sheriff's office is or isn't the proper comparator.
Mhm.
Is there someplace that that city council does look at to say, hey, this is
I
apples
feel
for
like they
apples?
look at the whole of the county, because,
but it's really hard to compare us
Mm-hmm.
to Orange City or South Daytona. It's not the same.
yeah, I mean our bigger ones, right, or our.
Well, your bigger ones
Yeah.
are
DeLand tends to be
Daytona.
the closer.
Yeah, Daytona and
Yeah.
DeLand. We
Comparable
look at New
thing.
Smyrna because we have a lot of people that live there.
Yeah.
We look at Edgewater because we have a lot of people that
Yeah.
live there.
The issue we had with DeLand last time was they had just had a ton of turnover at the lieutenant rank. So they were all kind of bottom of the scale, still making more money than we were, but bottom of the scale for DeLand.
Yeah,
Now, where they're at, honestly,
yeah.
the comparator of rank and file
Mm-hmm,
is
is the one you're
is
concerned about.
right now, yeah.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
keeping us, we would argue and did argue when we went to impasse that we were too close to rank and file to begin with. And now, the closest rank and file guy got a 13.4% raise this
Yeah.
year, right? Before you talk about whatever their built-in overtime is, which
Yeah.
we can't get.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
And, I'm just asking these questions not to be provocative, but to learn.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
That, if we were in that range where we discussed,
yeah,
I think
there'd be
we
a
could,
comfort
there'd
level.
be ability to work there.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
But if you're coming in at 125, there's probably not gonna be any ability to work there.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
that's what I kinda wanna know,
Yeah,
All right, good.
and again, I don't wanna say, but it's never happened, I won't say it never happened, but it's never happened before where I came in and gave a number and said, he was like, cool. Yeah, we'll take that, right? That's never happened before.
Uh-huh.
I don't expect it to happen this time, you know.
Yeah, but you're just
There
saying, hey,
wouldn't be
we
very
do-
much room
Yeah.
to work at
Well,
that
you're
number.
saying, you know,
we
if I'm
talked
hearing you
about.
right, you're just saying, hey, we're looking for a full, a fair number that puts us in, you know, proper proportion with the rank and file.
With the rank and file.
Yeah, so, okay, I get it. Good, all right, let's see here. Just retirement, blah, 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 I think that was everything,
Yeah, retirement we'll skip for now.
yeah. So Article 28, did we strike that? Do I have the wrong version of this out here? Did we strike 28 last time? Remember we said this is
Yeah.
duplicated and we struck it, right? Yep, okay, good.
Yes,
Why did I copy the wrong one?
and we just reserved 28, right?
Good, yep,
That's the one that's repeated.
yeah.
Here's that military leave part, Chief, Article 30.
Article 30, so employees on military leave may elect to continue benefits for themselves and/or eligible dependents during periods of active duty. To do so, please contact HR. Premiums will need to be paid monthly by the first of the following month. So, and again, we put that in there more informationally.
And
so
we're not
members-
meaning canceling people on
Yes.
that one like they were.
Correct.
Whatever, yeah.
Mhm.
Out of curiosity, how often does that happen, where somebody goes active duty for a year and they stay on the city?
We just finished one,
Yeah.
we just had one,
Yeah.
just this
Not
last
a
couple
year.
Because
months.
remember, their families
No,
still
he
need
was
that.
almost
Yeah.
one year.
Yeah.
Should be on track.
Wow.
He was supposed to be 18 months, and he
Yeah.
came back a little early.
It flew by.
It really flew by,
Yeah.
that is so amazing.
Maybe, well, at least us, it did. I don't
Yeah.
know about the white.
Yeah,
kids,
yeah,
but-
they're probably like, you know.
Yeah, and she paid the whole thing.
Yeah.
Michelle,
Yeah.
on 26, just throwing it out there, we may have to read through, because there was a legal bullet put out by Matt, reference a recent court decision when it came to that. I don't think it really changes anything, but we might just want to just double check.
Oh, yes, that has not yet changed any of this yet. I'm waiting for more guidance. But as you know, they moved the schedules for the,
For cannabis.
yes, cannabis, yep. So that may impact us, but, he has last review of this thing with Greg at, you know, the last stage here. So if any of that has changed, they'll catch it together, right? You guys will catch it.
I mean, to be honest with you, that's not something that.
We
that
can't
I
use
would
TA.
Regularly get. I've dealt with several people who've been let go because they make any cannabinoids,
Yeah.
THC, whatever, against policy, and then
Yeah. I think, you know, the
Yeah,
whole.
I don't know why the schedule would matter for that.
It had to do with, I want to remember, something to do with medical marijuana.
Yeah.
They moved it from, I'll send it.
yeah,
Okay.
I know what you're talking about. They
Mhm.
moved it basically.
From a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3.
Yeah, they moved it to a lower schedule,
Yeah.
which is primarily gonna make it easier for universities to do research. But at my level that I've seen, like I said, I've had plenty of civil service boards uphold terminations of people because they had
Yeah.
any
And
in their
FDL is
system.
still on
yeah.
that
Yeah.
petition,
Right.
any positive behavior.
Oh, yeah. At this time, I don't see it saving, or changing the landscape for public safety in any way, nor safety-sensitive employees in the state. So, but yeah, we need to just stay tuned of what that means for us all, and we'll change the article accordingly if need be. I think that was
Here we
really it.
go.
We struck 32-2,
Let's go back to 31.
31,
Yeah.
yeah, workers' comp.
Yeah, it's D. We talked about this addition. I know that you can do it,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't want it in the contract to force you to do it. Right?
I'm okay with that. You know, I want them to also know, though, that they can't come and say, well, now I want 12 weeks of FMLA.
Get it.
Yeah,
But that would be at the time they take FMLA, you would say, hey, we are, or they start taking their time.
Yeah.
Hey, FMLA is going to run concurrent. I know you have the right to do that.
yeah.
I
you
just
don't
don't
need
want to put
here.
it in here
I'm okay.
that you have to do that.
Okay. Okay, I can deal with that.
I mean, I'd like to argue that, but I can't.
Yeah.
The law's pretty
I'm
clear
gonna
on
shut
that.
you down.
Yeah, you're good there.
All right. I don't have many rights, that's one of them. Article 32, we had struck that 32.2. I don't know why it was there and what it was,
Yeah.
what problem we were trying to solve there.
Yeah, that sounds
It's
like a one-time,
That's a policy that's
Yeah.
made because somebody did something.
Somebody-
yeah.
yeah.
There's a name on that one.
Yeah, there's a name
Yeah,
on
there's
that
definitely
one,
a
yeah.
name on that.
Exactly what that is.
Yeah. I mean, I would presume that if you're, you know, doing that, then you go and play nice with others, you know, so. All right, and then that was kind of it. So we've just got it, we're down to a few changes. Perhaps we can try to
I do have one question,
sign.
and it may be in policy.
Uh-huh.
If somebody is accidentally exposed to something, and the latest is, I guess they're putting THC in drinks, and, you know, they give you what you thought was a soda, and now you
Really?
pop, oh, yeah.
This is like when I went to middle school.
You know, criminals need to like settle down. I mean, we've got enough
Yeah,
crime. We don't
they
need
do.
to add any, you know? What is
But,
that?
I mean, is there anything in policy about
So-
accidental exposure?
Yes, that would be, kind of fall under workers' comp, if they did that in the course of their position, is that what you're?
Well, no.
No.
You're,
I'm talking about
apparently they sell the THC laced drinks in gas stations now.
Oh, yeah.
So you can go in there and grab your Dr. Pepper and it's Dr. Popper, you know?
beverages and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, it's,
They're selling it as THCA. I just came from SIU, so I'm up to date with all this stuff. They sell it as different types of THC and different Delta 8s versus
Does it
Delta 10s.
test out the
and
same
stuff.
way?
It just all
Wow.
steps, yeah, it
Yeah.
tests out the same. We went through that recently too with test kits, but it all tests the same. It
As
all
real
does all that,
THC.
but per statute, certain types of THC, certain types of Delta 8s and Delta whatever.
Yeah, there's the 8,
They're
9,
completely legal.
7, 8, and 9.
Now, if I took a drug test and I could consume something that's completely legal, I take a drug test, I'm gonna test positive for THC. But
Can you discern the difference at all?
No.
No.
There's no way to test below the 3%, so anything that's below 3% as far as the CBD products too, a lotion, right? Somebody, say
Oh,
my
yeah.
neck's stiff and they rub this lotion on you, not that that's gonna be enough to test. But you said, no, here's the only thing I used was this lotion, that's great, but there isn't a lab that could test to say that whether
That
it
that's
is or
true or
isn't.
not true, yeah.
3%
And it's,
or
you
less.
know, I've had employees say that, and it's like, well, you would've had to, you know, the lab guy telling us, well, he would've had to bathe in it for like a week for that to show up in that lotion, but,
Right, but
the
they are
point
selling,
stands, yeah. I was unaware of that.
They are
Flour that
selling-
You can smoke.
right, that's what I was gonna
Like,
Say
say.
that one more
They're
time?
selling like actual flour that you can smoke, that's considered a THCA or a Delta 10. It gets you intoxicated just like normal marijuana
But-
would.
Like a weed plant.
Actually smoking bud.
Yeah, you can
But,
sell
but
pre-roll
the
joints and
THC is
everything.
different.
Melissa has some, show
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Doesn't test any different,
It looks
but
exactly like
technically the
they're just-
chemical composition may be slightly different, maybe one additional carbon atom or one less carbon atom,
And it's
right?
completely legal.
Completely legal, because the statute
So
addresses,
it's a workaround, right? So they're
it's
trying to
absolutely a
work
workaround. But the problem becomes,
Mm-hmm.
right, I don't think you're gonna have this problem with lieutenants, I really don't. But the problem becomes, I'm a 22-year-old brand-new cop who walks in a gas station, and I buy this stuff
Mm-hmm.
that is completely legal.
Or you're just at a party with friends who
Right.
just are pouring
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
Drinks,
yeah.
Yeah.
You go home, smoke it, the next day you pop for a random, and you pop
Be
pop.
in jeopardy, yeah. So I feel like that might end up being an education piece, but it's almost like it's hard to keep up with the innovations of these guys, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know how you.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, the rule is unchanged still, right? If you pop positive, you got a problem. That's still the message, but
But the issue becomes.
the issue becomes it gets harder to avoid.
I have ingested a completely legal substance,
Yeah,
and you're gonna fire me for this.
and like she said, somebody could have mixed you a non-alcoholic drink or an alcoholic drink and put
Right.
some of that in there. Now, you've
Unbeknownst to you.
ingested, even though
No,
whether it's legal or
I
not,
walk
you don't
in the
even know.
shop.
You-
I walk in the head shop, buy this completely legal over-the-counter substance, smoke it. I tell you this, I produce the package.
Yeah,
But the
I'm-
next day, I pop hot because the test can't tell the difference between 9 tetracannabinol and 10 tetracannabinol.
Yeah, but you were taking a THC.
Completely
Okay,
lawful.
yeah,
I think
but-
it falls
but-
under the same as medical marijuana, right? You got a medical marijuana card.
Yeah, the people
My
feel
doctor
they're
might say, hey,
legal.
I'll give it to you, but I know I can't use it. It's
Yeah,
legal.
Right.
Yeah.
But to me, the
And
bigger
smoking
problem
would be
is,
legal, but-
the unknowing ingestion
I
of
was gonna
something.
say, you don't usually accidentally smoke too many things, but you could very easily
Accidentally.
accidentally drink something, you know?
But
Okay, President Clinton.
again, my point being,
Accident.
they use a completely legal product. Completely legal.
So I think there's gonna be really a delineation between
There's
what
no
is legal
problem
and
with
what is permitted.
Because you can, consuming alcohol to the point of intoxication is completely legal, but you can't do that and come to work.
Granted, he didn't come to work. He was on his day off.
But
And then he had an accident the next
intentionally-
day that went
No, no,
his
no.
fault and
He
got
just
tested.
popped for a
and-
random.
Oh, that too, yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
said,
His name just comes up for random.
So I
He
think-
used
Check that, did
it,
you?
he used it off duty, say 2 days before,
Yeah,
right? He used it off duty. It's a completely lawful substance for him to use. Now, the
Not
problem
for-
is
not
the
for him
test.
to use.
It is.
well, it's
It
lawful,
is-
but against the policy for him
Yeah,
to use.
it's, so regulated employees have a different set of rules than society, is what that means.
Okay.
And like I said,
Here-
to me,
That's
the
why I
bigger
said I'm thinking
concern
more on
is,
the accidental.
yeah, to me,
than
that's you're
deliberate.
completely faultless in that case. Whereas if I go, you know what, I'm a police
gonna
officer
try this
or
now.
an over-the-road
Leave it
trucker,
over.
I'm not supposed to ingest anything THC, but that's a legal product, so I'm gonna ingest it anyway. That's on you. But somebody
I-
pours you an energy drink that you think is an energy drink and it's got THC.
I am following what you're saying. What I'm saying is,
That's very hard.
if they could break it down
Bacon up
and get down to it is
This
Delta
is-
10. There is no violation there. None. It is completely legal. No violation whatsoever.
So
But the
if it-
tests aren't sophisticated enough to separate the illegal
That is
THC
true.
from the legal THC.
Well, and if I'm a user,
there's
why
no-
would I use it if it's not the same as the illegal
Right.
THC?
If it's
Right,
the
but,
drugs, well,
but here's the issue with that, right?
Yeah, right.
If I was smoking real grass, got busted, what am I bringing in the next day?
Yeah, THC,
Yeah.
going to the gas station.
Yeah,
He's
But,
really old.
You know,
I noticed that too.
yeah, I'd ask the
I am very
the
old,
question.
yes.
I am very old, he says.
When I say it, then you know there's a problem.
So, the answer right now is still what it is. So,
You should tell
right,
them
I
to
understand
try
by
it.
our policy that's it, but this is the fallout from that court case is what I'm discussing. Our policy very clearly says any
any level.
level
Any
of
level.
tetrahydrocannabinol without the 9, 10, whatever,
Yeah.
the Delta 9, Delta
Yeah.
10, whatever. So I'm good with that now, but I think we're gonna have an issue with that.
I
when
think,
the court
this
case-
stuff's
the
gonna
court
tumble
case
through the
triples
courts a
down.
little bit, and I
Right.
think it's gonna continue to
Yeah.
evolve.
Don't get me
Um,
wrong, I think it's nuts
you know,
that,
Yeah.
in
I mean, I
other
might-
states, cops can smoke. I just think that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I might ask the question of the user, if it's not this, then why do you want to do it? Right? So.
Well, again, it's a workaround, right? I get just
Yeah.
as high,
Yeah.
but it's legal,
Yeah, so, I think all of us will see the results of that over the next few years, but
Yeah.
that being said,
Probably won't be
today,
here
we're
long
still in the
enough, yeah.
regulated environment, and I agree with the young people, it's a little challenging, because, well, why wouldn't I do that, kind
Yeah.
of thing, so.
I could have easily grabbed a drink. Like I said, they did a big news special in Jacksonville on it, and they showed some, and they're right next to
I had no
other
idea
drinks,
of any of
and it's
that,
like,
that is just
Yeah.
unbelievable.
So
You
the
buy the
pri-
wrong
price is
cheer
not
wine, you're in
regulated,
trouble,
you can just
right?
go and
Yeah.
buy it?
Yeah,
No-
you just walk into
no
the,
any
That's
age?
unbelievable.
you can, it's
Oh,
it's
you
right
might
next
be-
to the Red Bull.
It might be age limit, I don't know.
But again, especially if you're at somebody's house and just pulling
Oh,
something out of the
yeah.
refrigerator.
Right.
that
Yep,
makes
or you're at a
sense.
party, you go in the cooler.
Go in the
Wait,
punch
even
bowl
think-
and you don't know what's in the punch.
That's
Yeah.
right, so,
I guess don't
better
drink
friends
at
might be
parties.
good, but,
Water.
right?
That
but-
you bring,
That
that
The
you
quality,
bring.
yeah, the quality of your associates might impact that. So I think we got through the book today. When do you guys want to meet next? And let's get some stuff signed next time. We're preparing for shade. I don't have it scheduled for these matters yet, but it will be scheduled in the next period of time. So we'll look forward to that, but again, you know, I don't directly control that process, but Wayne is very aware that we're, you know, getting ready to be able to discuss that stuff,
On
so
the pension side, it looks like, the last email I saw, it looks like
hopefully
the
that
contract is gonna be
finally done,
executed
yep,
at this point.
yep, so
So
hopefully
now we're
it
4 to
won't,
6 weeks on an answer for
Yep.
that. Hopefully she can get it done quicker than that, but.
hopefully she's been doing something on it up until now, knowing that this is coming through. She didn't?
She can't. GRS won't let her. Man.
I don't know what's going on with
So,
that, but
pick a
anyway, yeah, so,
Hmm? As of today, I believe we're good. I believe they agreed to the last 2 contract provisions that were questioned.
mhm.
Now whether or not, I don't know who's got to sign it. I think GRS has to sign it because it's the city.
Yeah, GRS signed it, and the city will sign it, I believe, today, and so
Okay.
it should be embarked.
So it should be,
Mhm.
by tonight, it should be signed. and good
Yeah,
to go.
or by the end of the week, I'm not sure. So, again, outside of my span of control,
Right.
but I'll let you guys know as soon as I know.
Okay.
Okay? So that being said, what are you doing 2 weeks from now? The week before the holiday, perhaps? Is that 1 week?
That's next week.
Yeah.
Good God, the time is flying. How about the week after the holidays? Are people here or off?
The
or
week
what are we
after
doing?
or that week, later that week, because Memorial Day obviously is
Yeah,
Monday.
that week, yeah.
Wednesday the 27th or Friday the 29th look good to anybody?
Wednesday, the 27th is better than the Friday, the 29th, for me.
Yeah, I think I'm okay.
Okay, 2 o'clock?
2 o'clock?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate these discussions, and I feel like we've, you know, we're coming up with a pretty decent contract here, so.
We appreciate y'all.
Yeah,
But,
and
yeah, no.
and I
The
appreciate
2 big
the-
question marks are all that are really hanging out there.
that's what we want, though, right? You know, we've done our parts.
And y'all know
And
that's
so we
hanging
can-
out there until theirs is there and the
Yeah.
ship did, so.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
I
I-
have wonderful models built, so.
Yeah, I'm
plug
just gonna
and
bite
play.
my tongue on that one. I mean, the whole idea of getting started early was so that it could be done.
I
Yep,
know.
but when that part is done, we're just plug and play. It's not a bunch of fooling
Yeah,
around after that.
this year everybody's been, trust me, everybody's been later.
Holding
because
their
of-
breath because of the whole waiting to get through
Yep,
April.
yep. So, you know, that's not uncommon, but I feel like we've prepared, you know, we can say, hey, we've gotten through all the non-financials, we've done this, we've done that. What say you? And then that's where we're at, so that's a good thing. So with that, we'll end our bargaining today. Thank you so much for this cooperative style of bargaining that we're doing. You know, we're agreeing and problem solving, I like that, and so I appreciate that from the association and from you, Greg, and everyone involved. So,
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. This thing feels like it's gonna blow up.
Real quickly, I got one for my-
Chief,
Yes, sir.
it's like an initiation thing, we shave the heads of all the.
Yeah. We make them dress like Buddhist monks for the first month.
Warren, do you need anything, or you want to chat?
I'm good, and we can chat, just give me a minute to finish closing.
All right, thanks
All right,
again,
so
Warren.
be in my
Thanks,
office.
Greg.
Okay.
Okay.
I will see you when you exit your office.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, bud, thanks for
Yeah,
coming.
That number, down there.